Hi there, Rabbi. How's the water?
Oh, it's wonderful, but they put up the red flag, and so I'm not gonna go in because I'm not an Olympic swimmer, and I realize I could get into trouble if I go out there, and that's what the lifeguards are telling me. Don't do it.
Well, it's the Winter Olympics, so the water's probably too cold anyway. But it brings to mind we will just sit on the beach and talk for a bit about the Olympics. One of the first things that I wondered about when my daughter was born was should I, at the tender age of 18 months or 2.5, throw her into a swimming pool and start her training for her Olympiad 18 years in the future? Because I know some parents do that. We all grow up with lofty goals. We want to be rock stars, we want to be doctors, we want to be astronauts, we want to be rabbis, we want to be cartoonists, and we don't always achieve them. And everybody drops out of the race at one point or another. Some continue to the end without ever really reaching the finish line. I think that's enough sports metaphors for now, do you think?
I think so.
But what is it about us as a people? What does Judaism say about it? What does religion say about it? Why do we try to do things that are sometimes considered impractical or ambitious beyond all reason?
Yeah, you brought up a really neat question about human beings and our goals and how we view ourselves. And a lot of the answer lies in self-examination. You know, I wanted to be a great ballet dancer. I wanted to play the violin. And instead, I chose this, and I'm always unhappy. And so, our first step is to acknowledge that we always have within us an idea, an image, the soul. Let's call it feeding the soul, something that makes me feel good. Now, I have to also, no, I don't have to earn a living. I could live on the beach, but doesn't pay bills, or if I have a health problem. So we have to balance the practical against some of my souls, my ideals. And that's a tough decision to make because maybe I could have been a great whatever, but I chose an occupation to earn money. And I spend my whole life regretting not playing the harp or the cello or painting the ceiling.
You could have been a contender.
I could have been, yeah.
And that's true, but we take that regret, and sometimes we do that willingly because we realize we have responsibilities. But other times we admire the people who shirked responsibility to achieve that goal. I remember the story of Whoopi Goldberg, who, as a single mother, left her daughter with her daughter's grandmother to move across the country to go to Hollywood to see if she could become a comedian. And had it not worked out, she would have her legacy would have been a rather poor one. But instead, she's considered a success and courageous for doing it.
You've just outlined a basic problem, not a problem, something about being human is how do I balance my visions, my inner self, feeding my soul with practical worldly occupation? And it's really a difficult decision. And I don't have an answer for you because there isn't an answer. Each one of us has to stop and say, I'm not a cartoonist. And had I decided everything depended on being a cartoonist, I would have dooming myself. It's finding an occupation, finding a way to earn a living that resonates, that's consistent with our abilities and talents. Too often, too many of our younger people are influenced by the media, social media, by movies and televisions, and they think they can, and they're not doing a fair analysis of themselves. They're delusional, if you will. They're thinking that I'm a great rock star. No, we really need to get grounded and see, well, let's start performing. Let's start doing it rather than the dreaming part. You think you're a great artist, start drawing, start producing. Let's see where it goes. Let's see if you can find a patron to support you. You think you're going to be a rock star, make a recording. The iPhone and our computers provide the opportunity to make movies, to make rock music, make something, put it out there, and see, with the understanding that you may not be as good as you think you are, but find out. Why not try it? And then you want to balance. If I decide to go to Hollywood and go to the drugstore to be discovered, I'm doing some trade-offs. I'm trading off things. And that's really what, life really is about trading, Joe. About I'm going to do. And what am I losing?
And do we balance that against just ourselves? Because we have external environments that we have to reckon with. My parents have to support me while I try this. I have a family that would love to see me succeed, and they're willing to do without in order to give me the opportunity to try. But when do I stop asking for that? When do I say, now it's time to cut it out and just go back and go work behind the counter and enjoy what might have been in my memory?
I think the problem lies is we don't analyze it, we don't stop, and we go full speed ahead when we shouldn't. And I think therein lies the problem. It requires some introspection, my taking a look. I'm going to show you my drawings, and you look at them and go, there is no way you can improve. This is not the field for you, which is very different from you saying to me, oh, I see some talent. I see something here. Work on this, change this, and let's do this. There's hope in it. So there's two very different things. Too often, we don't seek an expert, a mentor to run things by. We're locked in our own bell jar, in our own stale air, our own thinking, rather than putting out there, I'm adextrous, which but my listeners don't know. It's very unusual. I'm neither right-handed nor left-handed, which means I wouldn't be a good surgeon because neither hand is skilled. So for me to say I'm going to be a surgeon, I'm dooming it based on my own lack of certain physical skill. And in drawing, in cartoons, not my field. So I think often we don't do a good self-analysis. We don't look at ourselves and say, gee, I really have a talent for this, but not for that. I'm going to pursue what I'm naturally better at to perfect it, rather than I'm going to be a rock star. No, it's not going to happen.
But we all have to draw the line in different places. I mean, someone who has the wherewithal or parents with deep pockets and are willing to finance me, nobody can say you should try for so long. Give it a month, and then if you don't do it, quit and go back to grade school or something like that. We all have to find our own line in the sand. So how do we determine that? Where is it for each of us?
The line is, does it involve other people? If it's just me eating lettuce and ramen noodles, then I'll go as long as I want. However, if someone else is dependent on me, if I'm in a relationship, if my partner says you have to support us or do something, it's all changed. And I keep coming back to this one point, Joe. Many of my patients, many people that come to me haven't done a fair analysis of themselves or their situation. And that is the starting point. If you're all by yourself and you want to live in a rat-infested loft waiting to be discovered, that's fine. That's your choice. However, if you're draining someone else's checkbook, if you're dependent on someone else, if someone's dependent on you, then no, someone else is in the equation. And you now have to sit down and say, I'm not going to be a ballerina. It's not going to happen. I have unreasonable expectations of myself. And I think I want to keep coming back to that, because everything comes back to being realistic about if you're alone and you're fine with, and your parents, whatever it might be, then go for it. And then you have to say to yourself, it's not working.
Oh, but come on, Rabbi, leave us with something hopeful. Say, if you just persevere long enough, good things will happen, or something like that. Isn't there something in the Torah that says you should do that?
Do you know Augustus Bromley Brown? You never heard of him. He was the greatest mind of the 18th century, and he did exactly what you said. He failed. We don't remember. Now, had he done something from his strength, we would remember Augustus Bromley Brown, but he's now passed into obscurity. So yes, I'm giving you something positive. What I'm saying is stop for a minute. And I think what you'll find is you're ignoring your strength. There are things you will be successful at because you have let the Greek sirens lead you astray into something else that you shouldn't be in. We have to listen to the inner self. What's my strength? Rather than the Greek sirens.
Okay, blame it on the Greeks. Well, thank you very much, Rabbi. As always, your words entice me to try new things and attempt new deeds. Have a good swim, but watch out for the water.
I'm not going in, and I'll watch for your newest cartoon.